Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chute Bosses here at the Thomas & Mack Center Media Room after round 3. Alex Dodd here with three-time world champion Tim O'Connell. Tim, just how great was tonight? The energy in the arena was at a fever pitch, and we're rolling.
Oh, I mean, when you start with the bareback ride and being the E-pin, there's an electricity in this building. There is a dog that comes out in these guys. This is what's separating guys from just being at the national finals to guys that are going to get in contention for a world title. The energy in the locker room tonight is quiet. The joking around really stops early. The messing around, guys are really dialed into what they had. Everybody had their hands full. And I tell you what, last night I was not impressed with the bareback riding. Right. Not so much the riders, but the way they picked these horses. Those horses were not up to the standard of what the NFR wants. What they do tonight, they did showcase. They brought a true E-pin, and the guys rose to the occasion. We've seen guys have trouble, and you've seen guys have a ton of success. There is no middle ground in the E-pin. Right. And nobody else besides Waylon Bourgeois. That's 2 round wins in a row on dusty roads, and you've seen the power. When as soon as that ride ended, it blew him out the back. You watched Rocker Steiner make a big move into moving into what could potentially be his first NFR world title and possibly his first average check and average title as well. When you look at that, like, we're going to move into those rounds that really suit Rocker and his style for Flash. That's really discouraging as a competitor out here, right, knowing that the guy that we have to beat that has this $120,000 lead is doing what he's supposed to do in the rounds that we kind of hope that he has trouble in. Yeah. As a competitor, you need him to make a mistake. He has not faltered through 3 rounds.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of consistency, and that's one thing I wanted to ask you about because, you know, everybody knows Rocker's flash and, you know, the way he goes for go-rounds. But so far in this NFR, you obviously got the go-round win yesterday, but he's been consistent and picked up checks and stayed in the average hunt. How important do you think that is for him with the lead he came in with?
I think people need to understand what he did tonight was execution of a perfect bareback ride. That horse takes a scoot. What does Rocker do? Holds his feet. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. When that horse starts rounding the corner, Rocker doesn't. At his first NFR, so 3 NFRs ago, he had this horse in his first eliminator pin and got fed by him. Got him rode, but got fed by him. That horse got all the points in that ride because he opened up way too much, way too soon, let that horse take the power. Tonight, Rocker executed a perfect building of his ride. He stayed closer and closer, and then at the very end, he finally cut loose. And it was close. It don't matter how they judge you at 8.01. Right. He made the 8. There was a slap, but it was definitely after the 8-second whistle. I mean, that was execution on going for go-round money on horses that, you know, he is now officially, I believe, silencing his haters on he can't ride a bucker.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been really impressed with his consistency so far. Let's talk about the steer wrestling just for a second. Ty Erickson came into this NFR 14th in the world. After placing second night 1, second last night, and winning the go-round tonight, he's all the way up to 3rd in the world. It feels like it's anybody's race in steer wrestling.
100%, especially with Will Loomis being out of the average. Yep. Ty Erickson is a world champion. And Luke Branquino said earlier today, these are the type of steers that are going to fit. They're a little bit bigger. They've been ran a few more times. Ty's big style. He's a big guy that steer wrestles like a little guy. He's able to manipulate his body and manipulate those steers with his length. When you get a guy like that knows what it takes to win a world title, you got to think he's won a world title, but he's been in world title races for so many years. In the last couple of years, he has dealt with injury after injury after injury. And he had something similar happen to him this year, but he comes into the bottom of the pack. But that is a very scary guy to get heated up moving into night number 4. I mean, that's no difference than a Waggis pack getting heated up. When guys that know what it takes to win a gold buckle are starting to get hot in Vegas early, this whole dynamic of the steer wrestling can change.
Yeah, obviously experience is important at any rodeo, but here more than ever, when you got 10 straight nights where you got to get on one or make a run, how important is that experience just to know the pacing, the flow, how to take care of your body when you're grinding out for 10 nights?
Well, you know it's a marathon. The experience is everything. You understand how you need to handle Vegas. You need to understand what I need to do to make sure that I feel good on nights 1, 2, 3, but how can I feel this good on nights 8, 9, and 10? These guys know how to handle themselves out here. They have a routine out here. And if we talked about it earlier too, if you have things cooking for you, like a Stetson right now, You wake up and try to do exactly the same thing every day, down to like, which boot am I going to put on first? What sock am I going to put on first? What am I going to eat? I might eat the same thing 10 days over.
Yeah.
But what works. And if you're hot right now, do whatever it takes to stay the same pace.
What'd you see in the saddle bronc riding from Statler securing another trip to the South Point for the Wright family?
You know, he had a great horse tonight, and I really thought, you know, that horse has produced a couple of 88s before, but like Statler gets overlooked in this Wright family because he's the young one. You know, he's the youngest Wright, but they all have that it factor about them. Now, I believe Ryder shows it more often. Obviously, he has 3 world titles. Stetson is obviously just unbelievable.
Yeah, just the man.
He's just the man. You know, and people like to forget that he has a gold buckle in the saddle bronc riding too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he forgets he's a world champion in the saddle bronc riding because he's such an amazing bull rider. But Statler has proven that he belongs in this world title race. He has that it factor too. He's so young that I don't think it comes out all the time, especially on the bigger and stronger horses. But when you run a horse like that underneath him, this is exactly the outcome that comes from the Wrights.
Yeah, that was an 88 1/4 point ride on Stay Smith's Angel Cat. Love watching that horse out there. Stetson in the saddle bronc, he finished just outside the money, but stays in really good position in the average. And when we're talking about this all-around race, I mean, this could come down to the average race. You know, what's the difference between 4th and 5th in your second best event? That's kind of what it may come down to. In the end.
And it kind of nullifies, you know, what doesn't hurt. You know, Wasey got bucked off his bull tonight.
Right.
And Stetson doesn't place in the saddle bronc. Wasey catches the second place check in the bareback riding.
Yeah.
And, you know, gets bucked off his bull. So tonight, nothing changes, and they kind of, you know, even themselves out again. But this Wasey in this bareback riding, I was skeptical coming in here, thinking that he was going to be able to handle these horses. But man, he is. I gotta take all the things I said negative about what I thought, because he has proven everybody wrong. He is a bareback rider, and he is a NFR caliber bareback rider for sure. He didn't get here by chance, and he's proving it why. 3 times he's nodded his head in the bareback ride, and he's caught big checks on all 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's impressed the heck out of me in the bareback riding. Just with what you're saying, he's cashing checks, he's staying in the average, he's staying in the hunt. I mean, honestly, he's putting himself in a position where he could be in really good shape in the average in the bareback riding when the week's over.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know exactly where he's sitting in the average, but he has to be in that top 3 right now. That's a second place last night, a second place tonight. He did get a really good score. I think he was 86 in round 1. He could very possibly be winning the average right now without looking at a piece of paper. You know, do I think that continues? I didn't like the shot that he took tonight in the bull riding.
Yeah.
We'll see how well he rebounds off that. You know, that's the danger of both events that he's in, the bareback and the bull riding. One, he's going to be sore in the bareback riding. And if you take too many shots in the bull riding, obviously you're going to be sore as well.
Yeah. Let's move over to the tie-down rope, and this was the best thing I saw tonight, was Riley Webb coming out, laying down a 7-second run on Rudy to move back, kind of extend that lead a little bit. Coming into tonight, he had a $1,600 lead over Shad in the tie-down, and now he gets a little bit of breathing room, and we're in that back and forth.
I think we've seen a mad Riley Webb.
Yep.
You know, last night was the first time we've ever seen him make a mistake under the bright lights of Vegas. You know, he misses the flank on his cap. Shad cashes again. You know, I've been saying it, you know, it's kind of reversed role what Riley did to Shad last year. Shad's doing to Riley this year. But the way he can respond, and if you get a mad Riley Webb out here to prove a point, that's a scary, scary man. That kid can rope. He is great at every aspect of the game. From the time he nods his head to the time he puts his hand up, he is fundamentally so great at every step of calf roping. He really doesn't have a weak link. Yeah. So for him, you had to have known he went home and that ate at him. And I mean, ate at him. And I've had situations like that happen to me out here where you make that mistake and you just can't wait to get back here the next night. Like you just would, I hope everything I hope my life fast forwards because I need to right my wrong. What's he do? He rights his wrong to a trip to the South Point.
Yeah, there's about $23,000 separating those two in the tie-down roping right now, and it's going to be fun to watch. It's not like Shad was any slouch tonight either. He's 4th place on the go-around and stays in that hunt, keeps chipping away at that deficit he came in with.
I love that Shad is out here just doing what we've always expected Shad Mayfield to do. You know, like we've always expected Shad Mayfield to be great out here. He just never put it together the way we expect him to put it together. But he's still a world champion.
Yeah.
He still has a gold buckle in the bareback, or no, sorry, the tie down roping and the all around.
Yep.
He is a 2-time world champion. And when you look at him, it's scary to think that he could have 15 more NFRs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we look back on his career and say he had 5 or 6 bad NFRs, he had a great career.
Yeah.
You know, it's only a matter of time. And I think this is the year where Shad Mayfield puts it all together, and it will be a round 10 who can be the fastest.
Yeah, it just feels like he has maybe a little bit something different here. It seems like his body's holding together better, being more methodical, and it's paying off so far.
I kind of wonder if the pressure's not on.
Yeah.
You know, like I think Shad, everyone expects Shad to be great. I mean, when you're Shad Money Mayfield, you know, like there is a sense of I have to prove why my middle name's Money. Like not everybody watches me through the regular year, but they know I come in at the top of the game every single year. You know, there's a sense of like, I just need to go get this done. You know, him coming in behind Riley and everybody basically saying like, Riley's the best. No one's going to beat him. He's a back-to-back world champion. He's never going to lose. Like, you know, it's kind of like the Michael Jordan. I took that personally.
Right.
And I think we're watching a personal roping going on right now.
Yeah, it's fun to see. And if both of them get that chip on their shoulder, this is going to be a heck of a 7 rounds to finish out with.
What I'm excited about is we get to watch this rivalry for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's just they're
both
so young.
at the start of their careers.
Start of the career.
What it is.
Yeah, I mean it's exciting. Those two have definitely, you know, no disrespect to the rest of the field, but they're definitely have separated themselves from the rest of the field.
Absolutely. Moving over to the team roping, still wide open. We had a 3-way tie for first tonight. Driggers and Negata still at the top of the chart, but that's going to be fun to watch. Man, when the go rounds pay so much in team roping here, it's hard not to shoot for go round wins. So whoever can kind of find their way in that average might be able to separate themselves down the stretch.
100%, and that's the one thing I think people forget. Like, you know, the team roping last year, it fell apart.
Yeah,
and it's already started to fall apart here already. But when you're watching these guys throw over the top of the chute and then turn left, and like they're at the end of their rope, and it's so difficult for the healers to clean all this up. I mean, they're in the wall trying to pull them steers around, not trying to get crossfires. Like, this is a very difficult arena to rope in.
Yep.
It's extremely difficult. Just, they could go, all these teams, there's no doubt in my mind, in a practice pin, if they knotted 50 times, they're going to catch 50 times.
Absolutely.
But when it comes down to, like, how fast can we be? How difficult is the score? You know, the wall in here, it's hard to be clean. And when you're watching this race unfold before us, even just into round 3, we're watching guys that chip in a chair in Vegas. The 15th team in the world has already moved up to the middle of the pack.
Right.
It could truthfully be anybody's game. You know, you really thought Caleb and Junior coming in here, they're such a winning, dynamic team. They win everything together. But, you know, they have had issues so far, and they've really opened the door for the rest of the field to come in there and steal their gold buckles.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Definitely a tough arena to rope in, but leads to fireworks too. So excited to see that. In the barrel racing, Carly Otero gets the round win with 13.54. Mowry and Kinzel still battling out at the top. Cassie cashes another check in 3rd place tonight.
Yeah, and that's so impressive by Cassie to, you know, not bring Jarvis here, wins the opening round, cashes the night number 3, just out of it last night. Haley gets her 26th go-round win. But I don't think it's talked about enough. And, I mean, obviously, Haley and Sister get talked about a lot.
Right.
26 round wins on the same horse.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable that this duo together has won that much. You know, everybody else that have won these go-rounds before, they were not riding the same horse. Sister looks great. They were at the bottom of the ground. But Carly Otero, she has been the dark horse. Last year, she broke her pelvis here.
Yeah.
And competed 5 more rounds in the barrel race.
Talk about grit.
You want to talk about all these guys thinking they're tough? That might be the toughest competitor I've ever met. She is a tiny little woman, and to break her pelvis and then go out and say, I am not going down without a fight. I will compete with a broken pelvis. I'll heal it later. And she's got an arsenal of horses out here. She's got 5 horses that can win at any given time. She pulled the right one out of the box tonight and gets it done. I'm so happy for Carly.
And I feel like there's always somebody in the barrel racing that kind of comes out as that dark horse. Maybe they were getting overlooked and they can, you know, maybe win the average or, you know, cash a lot of checks.
Well, I mean, look at last year.
Yeah.
Andrea Butsky.
Exactly.
Cassie and Haley accumulated 9 round wins. and didn't win the Abbott. This girl that just kept the pace, kept the momentum, did her thing, was overlooked the entire time, and all of a sudden this thing got over, and we're expecting Cassie to win it or Haley to win it, and they knocked the barrel down, and we have an average champion that wasn't ever even looked at.
Yeah. Let's look at the bull riding tonight. Tough set of bulls, kind of saw some ups and downs. I was glad to see Tristan Hutchings stick one on a 90.5-point ride on Serbia Championship Rodeo's Vitalix Smoking Hot.
That's what he does, though. That's T-Hutch to a T. That guy, first NFR he ever came to, 4 round wins, over 90 points. He is a 90 or nothing type of competitor. It's going to be hard for him to insert himself. He's going to have to keep putting it together over the course of the next 7 days and 7 rounds. But, you know, Stetson knocks another one down. I was really surprised at these bull riders tonight.
Yeah.
Like, last night was their E-Pen, and they rode 7 bulls in the E-Pen. I don't know when the last time that's been done.
Yeah.
You know, in the E-Pen, somebody didn't get a check for covering a bull. I don't know if they all went and had so much fun last night. I don't know what
they were celebrating. You know, if we could cover the E-Pen, we got the rest of the
we got the duck spinners. But these bulls look juicier tonight than they did last night to me. Looked to be a few more tricks that were getting thrown out there. Guys were having trouble. I mean, what scared me was the Quinn Anderson situation with that bull flipping over on him inside the buck and chute. What a dangerous situation. Kudos to the guys in the arena handling the gate to understand what was happening and get that gate open and get him out of that predicament. I mean, that is a very deadly situation. If anybody knows anything about bull riding, that's a very little guy. That is a very mean bull, because he wasn't just flipping over. He was trying to hook him the whole time in between steel. I was really glad to see him, one, get out of there clean, get his composure, and then get on his re-ride and ride his re-ride and move forward in the night. Seen a lot of guys have trouble. I was not expecting that out of Kai Hamilton tonight.
No, me either.
You know, my big bold prediction that he was going to ride 10, I still believe he's going to ride 9. You know, he's that good. I think he's going to be very frustrated with his performance tonight. And, you know, with also Wasey going down as well. But then Superman just shows up, last guy out, knocking 89.5 down. He's got to be averaging 89 points. He's winning the average in the bull riding, I'm sure of it. He's riding like a man on fire. I mean, it is going to be very, very difficult to keep him from winning a world title in the bull riding. He just looks great. And for him to do that in this round and those two to come down, it just doesn't look like to me that there's anything in the world that can throw Stetson right off.
Yeah, that's the way it feels to me too right now. Obviously, a lot can change with 7 rounds to go. But what do you think it's going to take for Wasey Shalla to make a push in this all around when, you know, Stetson every bit looks like Superman, and you're just trying to find a chink in the armor and a crack in the door?
I think it's going to have to be his bareback riding.
Yeah.
You know, their bull riding, you know, Stetson has the it factor, but Wasey, when he does ride a bull, he makes it look dead easy. Wasey came in here as the #1 bull rider in the world for a reason. This is the Wasey we expected to show up here last year.
Yeah.
And, you know, he obviously had a lot of issues at the finals last year in the bull ride and kind of found himself right at the very end. I expect him to shake this off, no big deal. Come tomorrow, he's got a hopper in the bareback riding tomorrow. I'd love him to just open up and go cash check number 4. But for Wasey to win this all around, he's got to cash in this bareback riding. And he has. Because Stetson, I think the field in the bronc riding as a whole is better than the bareback riders. You can see the separation in the bareback rider from the guys that are going to be in world title contention. Like, obviously Rocker has a stranglehold on this right now. Jess Pope is right there doing what he does. Cole Franks is always going to play an issue for somebody in the average, and these rookies are doing fantastic. Wasey being one of them. The saddle bronc riding, all 15 of those guys can win at any given time. That is a very, very deep quality group of guys.
Absolutely.
High level saddle bronc riders. And I think the 25th guy in the world in the saddle bronc riding could win a round at the national finals.
I agree.
That's how great the saddle bronc riding is. So I can see, you know, Stetson not drawing the right horses coming up, could keep getting pushed out, you know, down that list of not cashing. Wasey needs to take advantage in the bareback riding and let his bull riding just be his bull riding, and he just has to keep pace with Stetson. Even if he's 1 bull down and gives up the bull riding world title, and, you know, if they both ride the rest of their bulls, he gives up the average and the bull riding world title, he's going to win second and second. but it's going to come out of the bareback riding for him to win this all-around title.
How much do you think it's helping Wasey right now that he's in 2 events? Me and him talked about it coming into the NFR that he likes competing in 2 because it kind of takes a little bit of the mental away from it and he can just focus where his feet are. How much do you think that's helping him so far?
I think it helps him a lot. You know, like when I was younger, when I was first starting to ride bareback horses and I was more of a bull getter honor, then I realized I was a bull rider. It really slowed my bull riding down. I remember like bull riding being like very fast for me for a long part of my bull riding career, if you want to call it that. And then I started riding bareback horses and it was extremely fast. And then all of a sudden, like I was overriding all these bulls because like things were not happening at the same speed as they were. So for Wasey to be so awesome in both events, you know, obviously he's a world title contender in the bull riding. And you know, he's looking right now. If he keeps this up, he's going to finish inside the top 4 or 5 in the bareback riding as well, which is a huge statement for his bareback riding. I think it really helps him because his body is used to the abuse too. Like I think that's where people kind of overlook the fact that his body is naturally created a tolerance to the abuse of both events.
Right.
And then he gets a little bit of a break time too. He knows how to handle that hour and a half from bareback riding to bull riding, and he's able to transition, and obviously it works. So I think it really helps him. Stetson, obviously, he's still riding an adrenaline rush from the saddle bronc riding to the bull riding. It's an interesting race, and I'm truly excited that it's like the Riley Shad deal. Yeah. We're gonna watch these two. These two are in the prime of their careers. Like, I don't exactly know how old Stetson is, but he cannot be more than 25 years old.
Right.
And Wasey's like 18, 19.
Wasey has to bow his head and sneak through the casino to get to the elevator for his room.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the beauty of where our sport's at right now. There is a changing of the guards. There's a new chapter of kids coming in here, and they're so good.
Awesome. Well, Tim, thanks again for joining us. I had a chance to catch up with Riley Webb, and also want to give a thanks to Runyon's Fine Furniture for this awesome set that we have. Tim, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hello, everybody. Alex Dodd here from the Chute Bosses, joined by Riley Webb. Riley, it's good to see you down here after round 3 wins, 7 flat. How'd it feel just to hear that crowd noise and get a round buckle tonight?
Oh, it was great. I felt like it was going to be a good morning. I've been praying about it, and I've won. This is the first round 3, and 23 was the first round I ever won the national finals. So I had a good feeling about round 3 tonight. We tied the calves this morning, and I tied this calf 67, and I knew that I wanted her. I called her, and I ended up drawing her, and I knew I was pumped. And I usually don't get here till about 5:30, right close to the grand entry. When I saw I had her drawn at 4:30, I was over here at 4:30 waiting to run her.
Awesome, man. Well, you know, you got off to kind of a slow start, not exactly what you would have wanted, but things changed quickly at the NFR. How important was it to get back on track?
Yes, sir. You know, first round made a good run, got paid. The second round kind of misflanked him, but like I said, I knew this round could change my week around, and it sure did. And I'm so blessed. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ gives me the ability to shine for Him and do this in front of everybody, and it's just a blessing.
Last year, I think at this time you've been to the South Point like 7 times because you were over there for the breakaway roping, and then you won those first couple rounds. What's it going to be like to get back over there tonight and get back to your home away from home?
Well, yes, sir. We for sure know how to get there now, but it's been nice. We love going over there and getting the buck on. I know my family's going to be coming. They're probably already there, but we're gonna get over there and get back to going and keep the ball rolling and start the reruns tomorrow night on the calves. So everybody will know what they have a rerun on the calves, and you should look for everybody to start tying them really fast.
Yeah, I mean, just what's it been like kind of watching Shad? He's been laying it down out here and gotten a groove and really set this thing up for a nice battle for the next 7 nights.
Oh, for sure. He's been roping great. It's a competition, so we're pushing each other to be better, and that's all you can ask for.
How do you kind of thrive off a competition like that when things get tight and the pressure goes up? What's that kind of do to you as a competitor?
Oh, I'm roping against him, but at the same time, I'm roping against myself. Don't beat myself. If I do my job, most of the time that's good enough to win something. So just stay focused to my game, stay in my zone, and do my job.
How's your horse working for you so far?
Oh, he's been great. He's been great all year. So blessed that the guys voted him for Horse of the Year this year. He's been great and been a blessing to my family. Can't wait for the next 7 rounds.
It's always good to see Rudy driving in the Thomas and Mack, and good to see you back here too. Good luck the rest of the way. I'm sure we'll see you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Riley Webb. Stay tuned to the Pro Rodeo social channels for all the coverage from the 2025 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.